This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. We shall begin the session for the day. I hope all of you are ready for the session.
Yes, ma'am.
Class, thank you. For the previous class, we had done with the Contra vouchers. Yes, we were able to record the first 3 Contra vouchers. Now, we will proceed with the Contra vouchers and we'll pass further entries under Contra vouchers. So when we had done, we had passed the entries on deposits, withdrawals, and we had interbank transfers, right? So now we will proceed with the Contra vouchers with additional entries. So let's begin. So please log into your companies. So we are in the Gateway of Tally screen. Now let's continue with the Contra. So the previous class I had discussed about the Contra vouchers, how they come up with cash to bank, bank to cash, and bank to bank entries, where deposits, withdrawal, and interbank transfers only are recorded in the Contra vouchers. And what is the function key for Contra voucher? It is F4. So when we press F4, we get the Contra voucher in the voucher creation screen. Yes, so I also discussed about the syntax before we go to the practical exercise on Contra, that the credit aspect appears first and the debit aspect appears next, where the credit is cash or bank, as well as the debit will also be cash or bank. So except cash and bank ledger, no other ledger would be able or would be possible for creating an entry under Contra vouchers. So henceforth, it's a restrictive voucher limited to only cash and bank based entries. Yes, so this is, we had passed, right? Deposit of cash of 5,000 into ICICI Bank, withdrawal of cash of 3,000 from HDFC Bank, and transfer of cash of 1,500 from ICICI Bank to the HDFC Bank. Now we'll go for the fourth entry, where we have a withdrawal of cash of 10,000 each from HDFC Bank, and we have a syndicate bank. Now here, cash of rupees 10,000 each. So 10,000 I'm withdrawing from HDFC, 10,000 I'm withdrawing from syndicate. So what is the first step we take when we go for a withdrawal entry from the banks? First, we have to check the cash and the bank summary. So how do we do the same in Tally? I'd also shown you in the previous session. So in the gateway of Tally, right now we have to press Alt G, that is the go to option. In the go to option, if we select cash or bank book and press enter, yes, so here we are able to view the cash and the bank balances. Now, if I have to withdraw 10,000 from HDFC Bank, yes, I'm having sufficient balance in the HDFC Bank account. You can also check the bank balance if it is more than 10,000, since we have to pass the withdrawal entry. Now, second is we have to withdraw 10,000 from the syndicate bank. Now, syndicate bank, if we cross-check here in the list of bank accounts, syndicate bank does not exist. So what is the job we have to do here? We have to create syndicate bank ledger. Yes. So again, there are two options. I would repeat the same. Now, when we go for a withdrawal entry, either we have to create a spot ledger or we have to create a new ledger. So we have to go for a new ledger creation with the opening balance, since we have to pass the withdrawal entry, as spot ledgers do not contain the opening balance content, right? So we have to press Alt G and we have to select create master, press enter. Yes, so here we have ledger. Please select ledger. Right, so here we are going to create a ledger in the name of Syndicate Bank. Syndicate Bank account comes under bank account, the first option. Enter. Yes, so again, account number, IFSC code is left to your choice. You can enter it or you can just skip by pressing enter. Yes, so you can give up the opening balance. Now, since I am withdrawing 10,000 rupees, probably I'll give more than that. Let's say I'm giving here 50,000 in Syndicate Bank. So once you give 50,000, press enter. Accept, yes. Yes, so I'm having sufficient balance. Now if I press the escape key, again one escape key, yes, now here I can view. In addition to the HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank and SBI Bank, I'm also having Syndicate Bank as well. So I'm having a sufficient bank balance. Now I can pass a Contra voucher, right? Now you have two options now. Either you can press escape key, come back to the Gateway of Tally screen. From here, you can select the vouchers. And what is the function key for a Contra voucher? It is F4. This is the first option. In case if you are in any screen, let's say you are in the create option, okay, in the master creation screen here. Now from here, you have to go to the voucher creation screen. So what is the key we select? Function key Alt G, and at the top, if you observe, you have the create voucher. Yes, so there also you can select. Above create master, you have create voucher. So if you press enter there, yes, then also you can directly go to the Contra voucher. So you have two options from the Gateway of Tally, vouchers, F4 Contra voucher. Otherwise, from any current screen of Tally, you can press Alt G, go to option, select create voucher, and then it will navigate you to the Contra vouchers. Right. Now, since we are passing a withdrawal entry where we're withdrawing funds from two banks, now cash is coming into the business. So debit what comes in, the principal of real account, and credit the giver. Now here, HDFC Bank and Syndicate Bank, from these two banks I'm withdrawing funds. So these two banks are, of course, belong to the personal account. And what's the rule? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. So here the bank is giving off funds. So we credit both the banks, that is HDFC Bank and Syndicate Bank. So select HDFC Bank, type the amount as 10,000. Once you type the amount, press enter. Right. Now here there are n number of options. Either check can be used for withdrawal purposes, or ATM, or any other mode. Now in case if you wish to select ATM, right? So you can press the space bar. You have the list of the transaction types. Over here, you have to select show more option. Press enter on show more. Yes, the first option you have is ATM. So you can select ATM. Press enter on the amount. Yes, so once we withdraw funds from the ATM, there is no requirement of the instrument number, right? The check number. So you can just press enter. Please don't make changes to the instrument date. Press enter. Yes. Now it is showing as debit cash, assuming that we are withdrawing only from one bank, but we are withdrawing from two banks. So the second one is Syndicate Bank, right? So what we have to do is we have to convert the debit to credit. So carefully you have to do this. You have to type CR, credit, CR, and press enter. Okay. Now here you have to select syndicate bank in the list of ledgers. Again, type the amount as 10,000. Press enter. Right. So here, if you want, you can choose ATM option or you can retain as check itself. So press enter, enter, come to the instrument number. You can put any 6-digit instrument number or the check number. So enter. So debit cash. So 20,000 we are withdrawing funds. So please pass the entry. So here, put up the narration. Being funds or cash. Being funds withdrawn from, being funds or cash withdrawn from bank. Okay. So once you put up the narration, please pass the entry. Accept, yes. Now, you can pass the entry. Now, if you observe here in the screen, now I'm having 2 credit aspects and 1 debit aspect, right? Now, when I'm having 1 single debit and 2 credits, or 1 credit and 2 debits, or multiple credits, multiple debits, what kind of a journal entry would it be? Or is it called as? It is called as a compound journal entry. When we are having more than 1 debit and credit on either of the sides, we define the entry as a compound journal entry. When we're having a single debit and a single credit, we define the same journal entry as a simple journal entry. And if it is more than 1, it is a compound journal entry. Okay. So you can accept the voucher. Yes. So here we pass the voucher. Now we can go for the next one. Yes. Yes. So here we have deposit of cash of 10,000 equally for Canara Bank and ICICI Bank. Company is depositing cash of rupees 10,000 equally for Canara Bank and ICICI Bank. Now here you have to assume that 10,000 is deposited for Canara Bank and 10,000 for ICICI Bank, because one of the presumptions can also be that 10,000 equally is 5,000 for Canara Bank and 5,000 for ICICI Bank. No. So here we have to deposit 10,000 for Canara Bank and 10,000 for ICICI Bank. So here also we have more than 1 bank involved here. So this is also a compound journal entry. So here the withdrawal and the deposit entries both reflect the compound journal entries. So let's pass the entry. So since we are depositing funds to the Canara Bank and ICICI Bank, now cash is going out. Yes. So we will select cash ledger here. Now, what is the total amount is being deposited into the banks? It is 20,000. Once you type the amount, press enter. Press one more enter. Yes, here you get the list of ledgers. Now we are depositing 10,000 in the ICICI Bank. So please change the amount from 20,000 to 10,000 and press enter. Right. Now here we are depositing by means of cash. So we can retain cash as a transaction type and press enter. Yes, so here we are getting the denomination screen. Now 10,000, you can give the denomination as 2,000 into 5 notes. So you can just type 5. Yes, so total we have 10,000. Press enter. Now, this bank name you can ignore because at the top, if you can observe, in the bank allocation screen only we have is the ICICI Bank, right? So we need not give the bank name here. It is not required. It does not, portray ICICI Bank again here. So we can just press enter. Now here we are again depositing 10,000 in Canara Bank, right? So Canara Bank does not exist in my list of banks. We can just cross check if it is existing or no by how Alt G, the go to option, and here we can select cash or bank book. Yes, in my list of banks, Canara Bank is not existing, right? So we have to create Canara Bank. Now, whenever there is a deposit entry, can I go for a spot ledger creation without the opening balance? Would it be possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So even though I go for a spot ledger creation, it does not show any negative balance because it is an inflow of funds into the bank, right? So let's create bank as Canara in the create option. So we'll create Canara Bank under bank account. Yes. So here we pass the entry. So same format, 2,000 into 5 notes. You just ignore the bank name here. Yeah. So B, cash or funds deposited into the banks. Being cash deposited into the banks. So once you type the narration, pass the entry. So this is also a compound journal entry as I. Now we go for another entry. The last one. Opened a bank account with State Bank of India for 35,000. So the company has opened a bank account with SBI for rupees 35,000. Now the same format. Now how we deposited cash into Canara and ICICI Bank. In the same way, we are also passing the same entry where a bank account is opened with State Bank of India. So funds are moving out of the company and they are getting deposited into the State Bank of India. So in the same format, we can pass this voucher, right? So let's pass this voucher in Tally. Credit cash. What is the amount involved here? It is 35,000. So type the amount as 35. Press enter. Press again one more enter. In the list of ledgers, at the top we have, I think we already have your State Bank of India. Yes. In case if you're having, you can select it. If you're not having, please create it on spot. Right. So in my company, I'm already having in the list of ledgers State Bank of India. So I will select the same. Yes. Cash. Now here 2,000 into how many notes it can be? It is 17 notes. Okay, so again 500, 2 notes. So totally it is 35,000. So you can take denomination of 2000 into 17 notes and 500 into 2 notes. Press enter. Now you can press another enter. Yes, and come back to the narration point. Now here the SBI bank account open with rupees 35,000. If you want, you can also give up the branch where the bank account is being opened. So being SBI bank account opened with rupees 35,000. So once you type the narration, press enter and pass the entry. Yes, so we have passed totally 6 entries under Contra vouchers, starting from deposit of cash of 5,000 into the ICICI bank, followed by withdrawal entry from HDFC bank. Then we have transfer of funds from ICICI bank to HDFC. Then again withdrawal of funds from again two banks, HDFC and Syndicate. Then we have deposit of funds equally for Contra and ICICI bank. The last one we have is open a bank account with SBI. So we have passed a variety of entries for the Contra vouchers. I hope it is clear for all of you. If you have any doubt, not able to get any entry, please let me know before we proceed with the next concept. Is it clear to all of you? One of you can respond.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Right, so I hope for the others also it's clear. Now, after the Contra vouchers, let's discuss a new concept we have is cost categories and cost centers. Very, very important before we proceed with the next set of vouchers. Now, what are these cost categories and cost centers? What are they? What do they mean? Right? Now, here I've given as this is referred as the head office or the main title of the business. By default, Tally creates primary cost category, which can be altered but cannot be deleted. Now, in the previous sessions, I had shown you the default ledgers which are appearing in Tally. So, which are the default ledgers? Which are the two default ledgers which are appearing in Tally?
Cash and profit and loss.
Very good. So, it is cash and profit and loss account. Same principle applies. Can be altered but cannot be deleted. Now, if I go for the cost categories under Tally, again, the default cost category we are having is primary cost category. So Tally gives the user to alter in the sense we can make any alteration, any changes, but Tally does not give the right to delete the default cost category which is created by it, right? So henceforth I can alter, but I have no rights to delete it. Now, basically, what do we mean by cost category? As I told, now here, if we take an example of a hotel, we have A to B. You know, the common scene hotels, whether you're in the highway or within the city limits or wherever you are, you have Anand Bhavan, that's A to B. Then you have Adigas, SLV, right? Now they have more than one branch, more than one outlet. Now, if you take the example of a hotel, right? It will be clearly given in the carry bag or in the hotel visit our other branches also, right? So if you're visiting the Jayanagar branch of Adigas, the other branches, let's say, would be in Malleshwaram, in JP Nagar, in Vasant Nagar, so like that. Now they have more than one outlet. Now what happens? Accounts has to be maintained, financial statements have to be prepared for all the outlets, yes, for all the branches. Now we'll take a small example of rent. Rent has to be paid every month for all these outlets, yes. Now if I have to pass the entry for rent paid, let's say rent had been paid for the previous month, that's for the month of July, in this August. Now, how to present the entry in time if rent is paid for these outlets? Now, normally, how do we pass the entry? We'll pass the entry as rent paid account. This will be debited to, let's say, bank, HDFC bank account. Yes. So this is how we pass the entry. This will be credited. This is the normal entry we pass, in tally, in accounting, wherever it is. So it is rent paid to HDFC bank. Now, if I am having, in the sense company is having more than one outlet, how can it be reflected in the entry? How can it be presented in the entry? Now here, if I'm having a couple of branches, now here I give example of 5 branches of Adigas only I'll give. One branch I'm having in Jayanagar, as I told. The other one in JP Nagar, Rajaji Nagar, Vasant Nagar, BT Road. Okay. So we are having 5 outlets. One is Jayanagar, JP Nagar, Rajaji Nagar, Vasant Nagar, and BT Road. So we are having 5 branches or outlets. Now the total rent to be paid for all these branches is 6 lakhs. Let's make an assumption. Now the same entry has to be passed here. So what will I do is I will enter the amount as 6 lakhs here. Right? So the same way we pass the entry. Now the question comes, entry is right. Yeah, I debit my expenses and I'm crediting my bank account. But the question comes, how do I give the allocation of rent expense among all these branches? Now, all the branches carry the same rent amount? No. Yes. So depending upon the area, the locality, right? So the rent will definitely vary for each of the branches, right? Now, the same has to be presented in the voucher. How can we do? We can do it by using cost categories and cost centers. That's one of the best ways to give the sub allocation of the incomes as well as expenses of a company, where we can present for each of the branch or outlet what is the income on or expenses incurred. So Jayanagar, JP Nagar, Rajaji Nagar, Vasant Nagar, and BTM layout, all these areas are located in Bangalore. Yes. Now, this Bangalore will be called as cost category. Bangalore becomes my cost category. And all these branches, Jayanagar, JP Nagar, Rajanagar, Vasant Nagar, and BTM, they become my cost centers. So these are all become my cost centers. So cost category is Bangalore and cost centers are all these different branches. So using these, we can allocate all the expenses and the incomes of a company. So I'll go back to the explanation here. Yes, so this is referred as the head office or the main title. Yes. Now Bangalore, if we consider as cost category, all my cost centers will be the area. So by default, Tally creates primary cost. Now here, how we can create the cost categories in Tally. So this has to be done stepwise. So let's go to the Tally screen. Yes. So press escape key and come back to the gateway of Tally screen. Now, from the gateway of Tally screen, select create, press enter on create. Once you press enter on create under masters, at the top you can see we have show more option. Show more. So press enter on show more. Cost category and cost centers are not appearing still. At the bottom beneath show less, you have show inactive. So please press enter on show inactive. Yes. Now you can view the cost category and cost center. It is very light, right? It is not dark and bold. So it appears to be very light, which means it is inactive. It is not yet activated. So we have to activate the cost categories and cost centers. So select cost category and press enter. So here is the answer. Primary cost category exists by default for the company. So Tally is asking you a question. Do you want to alter the primary cost category or create a new cost category? So we will select the option of create new. So press enter on create new. So we have another question. You need to enable the cost center feature for your company. Enable now. Press enter by accepting the feature. Yes. Yes. So here you're getting the cost category creation window. I hope all of you have got this screen. Now let's create the cost categories. Yes, so this is what I told you. If cost categories are the head office or the main title of the business, the cost centers are the sub branches of the company. By default, Tally will not create any cost center. Yes, default cost category is a primary cost category, but we don't have any default cost centers. These cost centers are used to allocate the income and expenses of the company. Yes, as I told, used for the sub allocation of the income and expenses according to the branches or the outlets a company has, right? So here we have the cost categories and cost center creations. Yes, so here when you can look up to the table, we have the cost center and the cost category creation, right? So here, now if we take Bangalore as the cost category, cost center Kormangla, Vasant Nagar. If I take Karnataka as the cost category, cost centers can be taken as Mangalore, Bangalore, and Mysore. If I take Maharashtra, cost centers taken can be Mumbai, Pune, Thane, so a number of places, right? So let's create these cost categories and cost centers. So first step we have to take is we have to create the cost categories, and then cost centers have to be created. So let's begin. So on the tally screen, in the cost category creation screen, in the name field, you have to create the cost category as Bangalore. So please type Bangalore. Press enter. Once you press enter, allocate revenue items, allocate non-revenue is there. We are not going to change the features. We will leave as it is. Okay. And we're not giving any alias. Alias, as I told, it's a nickname, short name, or the other name of defining the cost category or any ledger. So we are not going to give that alias. So press enter, enter, accept yes. Please press enter on that. Now the next cost category we have is Karnataka. Type Karnataka in the name. Once you type Karnataka, press enter. Accept yes. Third we have is Maharashtra. Enter. So like this, we're going to create 3 cost categories. Once you finish the cost category creation, you have to press the escape key and come back to the list of masters. You can stop in the list of masters only, where beneath cost category we have the cost center. So select cost center, which is beneath cost category. Press enter on the cost center. Yes. Now in Bangalore, we have Jayanagar, Kormangla and Vasantnagar. Yes. So first, before creating the cost centers, we have to select the cost category under which the cost centers are being created. So what you have to do is, first you have to press the space bar. Yes. Now you have the list of cost categories appearing. You have to choose Bangalore. Select Bangalore, press enter. Yeah, now you have to create the cost center as Jayanagar. It has to be under primary, no change over here. Under primary only, press enter, accept yes, enter. Now, next we are going to create Kormangla. Enter, under primary, yes. Next is Vasantnagar. So like this, we have created 3 cost centers, right, under cost category of Bangalore. Now we have to shift from Bangalore to Karnataka. So how will we do it? First, we have to press backspace. Press backspace and then spacebar. So first, you have to press backspace to move up and then press spacebar to get the list of categories. So here you have to choose Karnataka. Select Karnataka in the list of categories. Now, under Karnataka, you can create Bangalore. Same under primary, no change. Mysore, Mangalore, accept this. Okay. So again, we have created 3 cost centers under cost category of Karnataka. Now, again, we have to create cost centers under Maharashtra. So same procedure, backspace and then space bar. So you have to choose Maharashtra.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am, after Mangalore, ma'am.
After Bangalore, yeah, Mangalore. Okay, I'll show you the presentation here. You can just have a look at it. Yes, you're able to watch the presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So you can just capture the same. Under Karnataka, it is Bangalore, Mysore, and Mangalore. Under Maharashtra, I have taken as Mumbai, Pune, Thane. You can also select the state of your choice. You can create a cost category of your state, and then you can create cost centers under it. So it will be a practice for you also. I've given here 3 cost categories. You can create more than that. Okay. So now we'll create for Maharashtra. Select Maharashtra. Now under Maharashtra, Mumbai. Once you type Mumbai, press enter. Under primary only, accept. Next is Thane. Pune. Like this. Yes, so we have created 3 cost categories and 3 cost centers, right, against the respective cost categories. So under Bangalore, we have created Jainagar, Kormangla, Vasanagar. Under Karnataka, we have created Bangalore, Mysore, Mangalore. Under Maharashtra, we have created Mumbai, Pune, and Thane. If you want, you can add a few in Maharashtra as well. So once we finish creating the cost categories and cost centers, the next step we are taking is payment vouchers, right? So after Contra vouchers, we are working on the payment vouchers. All of you have done with the creation of cost categories and cost centers. Yes. So let's begin with the payment vouchers. So what is the function key for a payment vouchers? It is F5. Now F4 is contra voucher. F5 we have as payment voucher. Now contra voucher is used for cash and bank based entries only, right? For deposit, withdrawal and interbank transfer of cash and bank. Now if we go for a payment voucher, if I have to pay for any purchase of any asset, purchase of any stock, right? For that I can use a payment voucher. If I have to pay any tax, GST, TDS, or any other tax, I can use a payment voucher again. So if I have to pay for any expense, payment voucher. So like this, payment voucher is used for making payment of any business activity, for any business transaction. So whatever payments have to be recorded with regard to any business activity, payment voucher has to be used. So F5 is the function key for a payment voucher. Now how the payment voucher appears? That is the interesting part here. Now contra voucher, when we had discussed, the credit aspect appeared first and the debit aspect appeared next. Yes, the credit portion appeared first where we had cash or bank, and the debit portion appeared next where we had again cash or bank. Now when I talk about the payment vouchers, we are back to the normal positioning. As usual, the debit aspect appears first and then we have the credit aspect. So the debit aspect will reflect the expense ledger and the credit aspect will reflect the cash or the bank. Now, whenever we are making payment for any business activity, the funds are going out of the business. Yes, if you take cash, cash is going out. If you take bank also, bank is giving out funds. Yes. So funds are moving out of the business. So for which expense, for which nature of expense is the payment being done? That nature of expense has to be given in the debit aspect, that's expense ledger. Okay. Now, just now I gave an example of rent, right? So rent should be on the debit side, and credit aspect we can have the cash or the bank, right? Now we have certain practical exercises on payment vouchers. So here I've given 3 vouchers for payment, the initial ones. The first one we have is pay rent of rupees 30,000, commission of rupees 2,000 by cash for Jayanagar branch. Company has paid rent of 30. Company has paid commission of 2,000 by cash for Jayanagar branch. This is the entry. Now here you have to be little careful. I am having more than one outlet, as I told, more than one branch. So here I have given for Jayanagar branch, rent is being paid. So which means I have to use the cost category and the cost center concept here. Okay. So let's start the entry under payment vouchers. So press escape key and come back to the gateway of tally screen first. Yes. Now under transactions we have vouchers. Right. Now what's the function key for a payment voucher? It is F5. Now rent and commission is being paid for Jayanagar branch. Right. So rent and commission both are my expenses. So we have to create ledgers. Now rent paid account is already existing in the list of ledgers. Yes. So we have to select rent paid ledger by pressing enter. And what is the rent which is being paid? Rent of 30,000 is being paid. Type the amount as 30 in the amount column. Once you type 30,000, press enter. So all of you are able to get this screen. Some of you are unable to get. The ones who are not able to get, please make sure you have got it.
Ma'am, can you show it again?
Have you selected the rent paid ledger in the debit side?
Yes, ma'am.
Type the amount as 30,000. Once you type the amount as 30,000, press enter. The cost allocation screen is appearing. Are you getting the cost allocation screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'm not able to get F5.
You're not able to get F5. So what you have to do is, in your laptop or desktop, in your keyboard, you have the FN option, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to press FN and F5.
FN and F5.
Yes, together. You got it? You're able to get payment voucher now?
Ma'am, F5 and?
FN. There's a key in your laptop in the keyboard as FN,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So FN and F5 together. F5 is at the top, FN at the bottom. So FN and F5 together, you have to click.
Yes, ma'am.
You got the payment voucher?
No, ma'am.
No, you have to get it. It is Fn and F5. You have to not do it simultaneously, but press together both together. Then only you'll be able to get. I think there is a lot of disturbance. In case you have to ask any question or answer, please unmute. Otherwise, please make sure you mute yourself. Okay. Right. So just press Fn and F5 together. You will be able to get the payment vouchers. For a few of you who are not able to get the payment vouchers just by pressing F5, you can press Fn, F5. For the others, it is F5 itself. Okay. Right. So type the amount as 30, and once you press enter, you get the cost allocation screen. Now here I have told that I have paid rent and commission for Jayanagar branch, right? So Jayanagar comes under Bangalore. So what you have to do is first you have to press spacebar. Press spacebar. You get the list of categories, cost categories. So here you have to choose Bangalore. Select Bangalore, please. Select Bangalore and press enter. Now again you have to press the space bar. In the list of cost centers, you have Jayanagar. Select Jayanagar. The amount will be automatically reflected. You need not type the amount. So just press enter. Press one more enter. You'll come back to the main screen. Now here, it is showing as credit, assuming that only one expense is being paid. But you are paying two expenses here. One is rent, second is commission. So the same procedure what we did in Contra vouchers, we have to convert the CR to DR. So just type DR, debit, and then press enter. Yes. So you get the list of ledgers. Over here, you have to select the create option because commission paid is not created ledger. So go to the create option at the top in the list of ledgers. Press enter on create and then create a spot ledger as commission paid. Commission paid account. Now commission paid, rent, all these come under which group? Under direct or indirect expenses. It is indirect expenses. So select indirect expenses group. Type of ledger not applicable. Yes, cost centers are applicable. Make sure cost centers are applicable. If it is not applicable, make it as yes. Because here we are paying rent and commission for Jayanagar branch. For any of you cost centers field is not appearing in the ledger creation, please stop there. And
yes, ma'am,
then
it's not visible for me.
yes, so what you have to do is in the ledger creation window itself, you have to press F12, which you can see at the right hand corner in the vertical button bar at the bottom. F12 configure is there. So press F12. Over here, under general details, you have applied cost centers for ledgers. It will be no in your screen configuration. Yes, so make it as yes over there. Apply cost centers for ledgers. You have to activate it as yes. Done? So once you make it as yes, save it by pressing enter, enter, and come back to the main screen. Now you are able to view the cost centers field in the ledger creation window.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now what? So now what you have to do is here it will be showing as no. So what you have to do ultimately here you have to make it as yes. So on the configuration screen, apply cost centers for ledger. It will be no. You have to activate it as yes. Once you come back to the ledger creation window, Cost centers are applicable, it will be showing as no. You have to make it as yes. So it is no to yes, and over here the ledger creation it is yeah, no to yes again. So the same activation you have to do. Now once you activate the cost center, press enter. Now GST as of now we are not applying for the rent. So press space bar and select not applicable. So press enter, accept, yes. Right. So what's the commission is being paid? 2,000 rupees. So type the amount as 2,000 in the amount column on the debit side. Once you type the amount as 2,000, press enter. Same procedure what you followed for rent. For Jayanagar branch I'm paying. So first space bar, select Bangalore, press enter. Now again space bar, select Jan. The amount will be automatically reflected. So press enter and come back to the payment voucher screen. Now credit, it is cash. Select cash ledger in the list of ledgers. Yes. So this is how the entry is reflected. So we have two debit aspects and we have one single credit aspect. So this is also a compound journal entry. So cash is 32,000, rent is 30, commission is 2,000. Now here you can make out from the entry that it has been specifically given in the entry only that it is paid for the Jayanagar branch. Yes. So like this, if I'm having more than one outlet, here I've given only for one branch, you can also exercise by giving more than one branch. How we created Jayanagar, Kormangala and Vasantnagar, right? In the same procedure we can do it. So it is easily depicted here that for Jayanagar branch only rent and commission is being paid. Yes or no? So cost categories and cost centers are extremely useful if we have to allocate the income and expenses for more than one branch or for more than one outlet. So once you select cash, press enter and type the narration being rent and commission paid for Jayanagar branch. Being rent and commission paid for Jayanagar branch. So once you type the narration, pass the entry. Accept? Yes. So we have passed the first payment voucher. Now we'll go for the second one under payment vouchers. Now here we have furniture with a cost price of 20,000 was purchased at the cost of rupees 18,000 through check, and the check used was ICICI Bank. Check used or check issued was ICICI Bank, right? So the original cost or the cost price, carrying amount, book value all mean the same. The worth of the furniture is 20, but it was purchased by the company at 18,000. So I get a discount of 2,000 rupees here. And the payment for the furniture I'm making by means of check. Of which bank's check I'm making? It is ICICI Bank. So the complete entry, how do we pass? Now, since furniture is being purchased, furniture is coming into the business, right? So furniture belongs to the real account. Yes, it's an asset, a fixed asset. So debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So debit, we have furniture account. So what is the total value of the furniture? It is 20,000.
Call.
But yes, ma'am. You had any question? Right. So we are purchasing furniture. Furniture is coming into the business. So debit furniture. Now credit, how much is being paid for the furniture? We are paying only 18,000. Remaining 2,000, we are getting a discount. So here, before highlighting the credit aspect, that is bank, ICICI Bank, as I told, we are having a discount of 2,000 rupees. Now here, when I am purchasing, it can be purchasing stock, assets, or anything. When I am receiving the discount received becomes an expense or an income for me. It becomes an income, right? So discount received. So how much discount is being received? 2,000. So what is the payment is being made by check? It is 18 to ICICI Bank. So ICICI Bank account. Yes, so this is the way we pass the journal entry. Furniture is coming into the business where I'm purchasing the asset. So debit furniture, 20,000. Now I'm receiving 2,000 discount from the furniture dealer. So credit the incomes and gains. Which type of account it belongs to? This is a nominal account, right? Now I am issuing a check of ICICI Bank. Of course, credit the giver, personal account rule, and ICICI Bank, yes, credit. For 18,000. So this is the way we pass the entry for the purchase of furniture. The same entry we will also pass in the payment voucher. So debit furniture account is already created. So it is appearing in the list of ledgers. Select furniture. We have 20,000. Type 20,000 in the amount column. Press enter. Press one more enter. You have the list of ledgers. Now here, discount received is not appearing in the list of ledgers. So you have to go to the create option and create a ledger, discount received. Indirect income. Type of ledger not applicable. Now cost centers is a question. Now here in the presentation, if I give here, furniture with a cost price of 20 was purchased at the cost of 18 through ICICI Bank check. Now here, should I activate the cost centers when I'm creating a ledger discount received? Is there a requirement of cost centers in this example?
No, ma'am.
Yes, it is no. Why? Because I am not given specifically for Jayanagar branch or for JP Nagar branch, I'm purchasing furniture. So the example has no branch allocation here, right? So henceforth, please be very, very alert when you're creating the ledger only so that you can avoid the double, work over there. When you're creating the ledger as discount received, make sure the cost centers are deactivated. So cost centers are applicable? No. That's it. So your job is done. GST, as I told, not applicable. Accept, yes. 2000. If you change the amount as 2000, press enter.
Ma'am, how do we go back to that screen, ma'am, to change it?
You already created the ledger as discount received, but you have failed to deactivate the cost centers.
Yes, ma'am.
So what you have to do, you have to press Alt G, press Alt G, go to option, and select Alter Master. After selecting Alter Master, select Ledger, select Discount Received. Now you can deactivate the cost centers. Are the cost centers appearing in the ledger alteration window?
Yes, ma'am.
So you have to deactivate. If it is not appearing, I have told you, right? Already press F12 configuration. There you activate, here you deactivate the cost centers. Yes. So once you are done, now here I am issuing a check of ICICI Bank. So I'm resuming back to the payment vouchers. So credit the giver, ICICI Bank. So I will choose ICICI Bank here. So here I can have an insufficient bank balance. Now, for all of you, is it appearing the same? You're having a red balance there, a negative balance.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now what to do? How to overcome the situation? It's a very interesting point we have reached. Now, ICICI Bank is showing a negative balance here. It's appearing red, which means Tally is cautioning you that there is an insufficient bank balance. Now you have two options. One is you can make out that there is an insufficient bank balance in the ICICI Bank. So you can issue a check with by using some other bank. That can be done. You can substitute and you can pass the entry. But we'll assume a situation where ICICI Bank has got sufficient balance. Recently, you have deposited 40,000 to the ICICI Bank. I'll repeat it again. Recently, you have deposited 40,000 into ICICI Bank, but you wouldn't have recorded the same in the tally software. Now, before passing the payment voucher, we can rectify this mistake. First, we can alter or update the current bank balance of ICICI Bank. How can we do that? My ICICI Bank is already having sufficient balance, but recently I've transferred 40,000 to ICICI Bank. Now this, how can I update? I am in the payment voucher screen only. I'm not quitting from the payment voucher screen. Without quitting from the current screen, I will press Alt G. All of you press Alt G, the go-to option. Over here, we have the create voucher. You have a create voucher screen. Now here, it is showing payment voucher again. But since we are transferring 40,000 into the ICICI Bank, now which voucher we should use? We have to go back to the Contra voucher, that is F4. Press F4. You are in the Contra voucher screen. Now we are depositing 40,000 into ICICI Bank. So here you have again two options. One, you can make a cash deposit of 40 into ICICI Bank. One more, you can also go for the interbank transfer. That is, example from HDFC, you're transferring to ICICI Bank through NEFT. So both options are acceptable. We can, as of now, we can select the cash deposit. So you can select cash ledger in the credit aspect. You can type the amount as 40,000. Press enter or any amount so that any sufficient balance is there. Press enter. Press one more enter and select which bank now? ICICI Bank. Yes, so I've updated the ICICI Bank and now I've got a sufficient balance. So press enter again. Here we have the transaction type as cash. Press enter on the amount. So 2000 into 20 notes you can give. In the total press enter. Bank name need not be given. Now narration is being cash deposited into the bank. Being cash deposited into the bank. Press enter. Accept, yes. Yes, so we are back in the payment vouchers. Yes. Now all of you are able to make out the current bank balance of ICICI Bank. Now again we have to type the amount for furniture. Please type the amount as 20. Yes, now all of you can make out. Is there a negative balance now? It is a positive balance. It's the current bank balance we have got. We have sufficient bank balance now. All of you are able to get the sufficient bank balance under ICICI Bank. Or having any issue, let me know. So assume that all of you have got sufficient bank balance in the ICICI Bank. So why I've shown you this is without quitting from the current payment voucher, we can update the bank balance and then we are back to the same voucher which we were passing. Press enter. Right. Now here we are issuing a check for 18,000 towards the purchase of furniture. So ledger name will be furniture. They are issuing a check. So we'll not leave for any changes. Let it remain unchanged. Press enter. Press enter again. Now here you give the check number of ICICI Bank. Any 6-digit check number. Press enter. Come back to the payment voucher screen. Being furniture purchased at 10% discount. Being furniture purchased at 10% discount. Right, so once you type the narration, we can pass the entry. So please pass the entry if you have not done. So all of you are able to pass this entry where we are using another voucher before passing the payment voucher. I hope all of you have got this entry.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It's showing us to and by for me instead of debit and credit
In which voucher?
in payment voucher.
So you have to press F12 configuration. There you have the first field, right, under general details. Use credit or debit instead of to and by. Make it as yes. So once you make it as yes, press enter and come back to the main screen.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we shall pass this entry. We have the third entry, that is purchase shares in Wipro at 7,000 by cash and also purchased computer at 20,000 through a check. Now here it is, more than one asset is being purchased. One, the company is purchasing shares in Wipro. Second is computer. Now, if we have to create a ledger as shares in Wipro, under which group will we create the ledger of shares in Wipro? We have done it earlier also. We will create it under the group of investment account. Yes. And computer under fixed assets. Now, shares in Wipro and computer both are assets for the company. So, moment we term them as assets, immediately we relate to the real account. Yes. What's the role of real account? Debit what comes in. So, shares in Wipro as well as computer is coming into the business. Right? So, we debit shares and computer. So, how this entry would appear? So, shares in Wipro account. Now, how much is being paid? 7,000. And this is being paid by cash. Now, computer is also being purchased. So, again, we record the debit aspect as computer. 20,000. Press enter. And we have the credit. Now, shares in Wipro are being purchased by paying cash. So, cash account gets credited. Cash is going out of the business, but how much it would be? 7,000. Press enter. And again, we are issuing HDFC Bank check for the purchase of computer. So HDFC bank account gets credited. By how much? It would be around 20,000. So the same entry we will also pass in the Tally software. This is what? It is a compound journal entry, right? So this is how I have given you the breakup. The same entry would pass in the payment voucher. So let's begin. So we'll create a ledger as shares in Wipro. Under investment account. No cost centers applicability here. Press enter, enter. 7,000. Type the amount as 7,000 in the amount column. Now, convert credit to debit by typing DR and press enter. Now here, go to the create option, press enter and create a ledger in the name of computer under fixed assets. Again, cost centers no. GST you can ignore it or give it as not applicable. Press enter and save the ledger. Accept yes. Yes. So now we have this 20,000. Press enter on the same. Now shares are being purchased by cash. So credit, first we will pay for shares. So select cash ledger in the list of ledgers. Now Tally would assume that the complete payment is being made by cash, 27,000, but I'm issuing a check for a computer, 20,000. I'm only paying cash I'm for shares, making the payment by cash for shares. So just edit the amount as 7,000. Okay. Press enter. Press again enter. You have to select HDFC Bank. Yes, so I'm issuing a check of HDFC Bank for the purchase of computer, right? So this is how your entry should appear. So press enter. Now here you have to make a small correction. Shares in Wipro are being purchased by means of cash. Only a computer is being purchased by check. So what you have to do is you have to change the ledger from shares in Wipro to computer. How you would do that? You would press only backspace. Press backspace. Yes. Now here you have to switch the ledger from shares in Wipro to computer. So select computer instead of shares in Wipro. Yes. And leave the amount as it is. You can give the check number. Instrument date as it is, you can leave it. Yes, and you can give the narration. Being shares in Wipro and computer purchased. Being shares in Wipro and computer purchased for the company. So you can type the narration and you can pass the entry. So please pass the entry. I hope all of you have passed the entry for shares in Wipro and computer purchased. So once you type the narration, pass this entry. Accept yes. So this is how we pass the entries in Tally under payment vouchers. So the rest of the entries we can cover up in the next session. As of now, we have cleared with the first three entries. That is paid rent and commission of 30 and 2,000 by cash for Jayanagar branch. Then we had a purchase of furniture. Then we had a purchase of shares in Wipro and computer. Hope all of you have passed this entry and having no issues till now regarding Contra and payment vouchers till wherever we have done. Right. So we'll carry on the session with the payment vouchers in the next class with additional entries. Until then, please have a good practice of whatever you have done till now. Hope you have a consistent practice. Yes, thank you. Have a nice day. See you in the next session.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, I have a small request. Can you please send the recording of the class after the session is over?
the recording is being sent regularly to you in the WhatsApp group. You can please check over the same. The recordings are being sent to you of every sessions.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So you can have it. You can have a look at it. Okay.
Okay.